listening to the Marc Patrone radio program. If you'd like to call, here's the number. 416-640-0200. That's 416-640-0200. The Marc Patrone radio program, heard exclusively on News Talk, Saga 960.
Left-wing CNN now warning Trump he'd better be afraid. Don't even try to replace RBG. Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying on the weekend, passing away at age 87. Here's a CNN story. The full political impact of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death on Friday and Donald Trump's rush to fill her Supreme Court seat has yet to emerge. But if you think for a minute these events have the potential to energize Democrats to possibly record election turnouts in November, you probably haven't seen what's going on in the Democratic base. Oh yeah, they're so motivated right now to vote for to vote for Joe Biden. Let's listen a little bit, however, to Ted Cruz. Senator Ted Cruz is from Texas, actually born in Calgary, trying to school ABC News. George Stephanopoulos, let's listen to what Cruz had to say.
If you look at history, if you actually look at what the precedent is, this has happened 29 times. 29 times there has been a vacancy in a presidential election year. Now, presidents have made nominations all 29 times. That's what presidents do. If there's a vacancy, they make a nomination. What has the Senate done? And there's a big difference in the Senate with whether the Senate is of the same party of the president or a different party of the president. When the Senate has been of the same party of the president, a vacancy occurs in an election year. Of the 29 times, those are 19 of them. Of those 19, the Senate has confirmed those nominees 17 times. So if the parties are the same, the Senate confirms the nominee. When the parties are different, that's happened 10 times. Merrick Garland was one of them. Of those 10, the Senate has confirmed the nominees only twice.
All right, so Miles Kristen joins us from just outside Madison, Wisconsin. Well, you heard Ted Cruz there. I mean, there's nothing new about, an election year of getting Supreme Court justices confirmed. So what's going on here?
Well, I have absolutely no doubt whether Trump wins the election or not, he will be able to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Let's keep in mind, even if he loses the election, he will still be president until January 21st. I'm 90% sure it's the 21st. It might be the 20th. But he, either way, will absolutely be president until January of next year. So there's no fighting it. Like, he's going to get the person through, whoever that person ends up being. So I think it's an interesting decision whether Democrats and even Republicans, for that matter, really want to put effort into this, because it is a month, a little more than a month away from an election. And at the same time, the Democrats can use this nomination process and so forth to really distract people away from all the crazy protests. And I could kind of see where if the Democrats really put focus into the nomination process, people will stop paying so much attention to the protests. And you think about, like, you've got different factions of these protests, and once certain factions stop paying attention, other factions will stop paying attention, the media will stop paying attention. I don't know how that all works in the end, but if I think back to 2011, 2012, for instance, here in Wisconsin, there was a recall effort. They got a lot of attention against Governor Scott Walker, but kind of right before the recall effort, there was the whole Occupy Wall Street. And I watched as people kind of abandoned Occupy Wall Street movement to join part of the recall movement. So I'm just saying that there is this whole transition of people, a political party moving their attention from one thing to another, and how that will affect the other one.
Miles Kristen joining us from near Madison, Wisconsin. But what do you make of what CNN is saying? I mean, they're saying that the Democrat base is going to be wildly motivated now. I thought they were already motivated. I thought they were desperate to get rid of Trump anyway. So what does it matter whether he replaces RBG or not? I mean, what's this fear-mongering by the media, and also whipping up the issue around violence as well, which, of course, you've seen enough of that in Wisconsin. I
mean, I definitely think you're probably going to see groups like Planned Parenthood and so forth probably start bussing people into D.C., and the last word I would use to describe the Democrats is energetic. I mean, Biden is such a terrible candidate. I think a lot back to like 2004 and John Kerry, and John Kerry was incredibly boring. But I mean, it's like Joe Biden makes John Kerry look like John Bon Jovi as far as energy goes. And I have literally probably received about 15 different text messages in the last 2 weeks from literally 15 different organizations, and they're all texting me. The funny thing is I started giving them a fake name years ago, and so I can kind of tell which section of the Democratic Party of it. Is it like the more unions, or is it this group or this group? And they always go, hey, so-and-so, this is Taylor with United PAC. Hey, this is so-and-so with End Citizens this. And, I mean, they're texting me all the time. And within 24 hours of Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying, they're literally using her death to raise money. They were asking me to donate $50 because Ruth Bader died and so forth. And it was insane.
Let's hear Joe Biden from the weekend.
And perhaps, most cruelly of all, if Donald Trump has his way, the complications from COVID-19, which are well beyond what they should be. It's estimated that 200 million people have died, probably by the time I finish this talk.
That's 2/3 of the population of the United States. So, I mean, I guess people are just dying all around you. I mean, you're going to need a lot of body bags down there, Miles.
I don't know if he was talking about worldwide, because I really don't know the number worldwide. But at the same time, this is the party that, they'll say that, 100 million people have died from gun deaths, or, the earth has, 11 years that, and after that, nothing can be done. I mean, they're really bad when it comes to math. Well,
that's. I mean, no. This goes beyond being crappy at math. At math, I mean, it's 200,000 around that in the United States, and this guy added some zeros that didn't belong there. I mean, and it's not the first time, Miles. I mean, this guy sounds terrible. I mean, he walked up to the stage a little while ago, and he was so out of breath. He sounded like he needed a respirator. I mean, let's listen once again. This is him approaching the stage. This is what he sounded like on the weekend. This is in Philadelphia.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the nation's Constitution Center. I had the great privilege of being the guest leader of this outfit for a year.
He sounds like he should be in an arrest home, man. I don't know what.
Yeah, no, it's so crazy. I mean, you think like they had 25, 26 plus candidates, and the media really, in the United States media, really shaped Joe Biden into being the candidate. And I don't understand this. While he was the vice president, it's like, well, actually, if you look at historically in the United States, how many vice presidents have been successful at becoming president? And I mean, it's like, even just, Al Gore did really win the election, but I mean, it shouldn't have even been close. And then it's like, before him, you had Bush Sr. be elected.
Right.
And, you can't even go further back. And it's like, well, Johnson never won the nomination, really. I mean,
no,
Johnson
he had to have JFK whacked. He had to have JFK whacked before he could take over.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's a very good point. But, I mean, historically in the United States, there aren't actually that many successful stories of a vice president becoming president.
Especially one that's suffering from the kind of cognitive decline. I mean, they went after Reagan in the last couple of years of his second term. I mean, this guy hasn't even run in for a first term yet, and he already sounds terrible. And so no wonder.
Oh God! I mean, even worse. And it's Barack Obama ran after this, horrible warmongering president, and Barack Obama, as much as I always knew Obama was full of crap. I mean, I voted third party in 2008 and 2012, and but Barack Obama's story of change, like he was able to inspire people. He made people think that he was going to change things. All I see it as in the end that Barack Obama made Democrats into neoconservatives. That's really the change I saw from it. But I mean, he had this inspiring story that he was presenting to people, and as much of a liar as he was a great salesman. And now you've got, what are we talking, 8 years later, you've got Joe Biden, and it's, what is his story that he's trying to present? I mean, he's not really doing a good job of selling some sort of idea.
No, he's selling the idea that Trump's bad, vote for me. And then I don't think it's an accident that they're saying that it's the Harris-Biden ticket either. I think they're trying to say to everybody, look, Joe's in trouble, but it's going to be Kamala who's going to be running things anyway, so just vote for the ticket. I think that's really what they're saying here. Anyway, that's my take on it for what it's worth. But we got to run. Miles, thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that. Miles Kristen coming to us from near Madison, Wisconsin. And hopefully we're going to get Miles back on later this week to give us an update on the battle to fill that vacancy on the Supreme Court.